Before we start, please join the Discord community, link down below for me. When you click the link, the invite should appear as shown. Click accept invite for direct access to yours truly, your fellow community, as well as being notified every time we go live. You'll also be able to view all VODs from the Discord server, as well as any YouTube videos, and be notified when I post here on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, around 99% of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel. Make sure you fix that by hitting the subscribe button and turning on all notifications. If you do that, I can find the content for you and we can watch it together. Shout out to all my current subscribers as well as current subs on Twitch. We call y'all citizens, you feel me? And yeah, enjoy the video. We got an interesting one today, YouTube. We got one from my dog, Honored Clarity, you feel me? As you can see, we got that bell turned on for all notifications. So if you would be so kind, turn those on for me as always before we do a video. I'm gonna pre-fire like, hope y'all do the same. A couple of videos ago, y'all should see the new intro. I kind of just shortened it a little bit. I really sped it up, but I didn't want to take too much of y'all time. But it's literally in conjuncture, it's like 55 seconds. So it's something slight. But without further ado, we're just gonna get into this. This is Giving Anime MCs a Breathing Style by Honored Clarity. He's the one that dropped the video that was like the it was like the durability problem or the AP. You feel me? Because people confuse attack potency with it's like destructive capacity. That's the word. Is this on the playlist? I had to make sure. We be stocking up all the time. 15 views 1 hour ago. We hopping straight into it. Thought of me.
So after rewatching the pure cinema that was Infinity Castle, I was completely shocked by.
Hopefully there's no spoilers in this, but I'm gonna just say potential spoiler warning. I saw the movie, great movie. I've also like seen the manga, so before I watched the movie, I knew a little bit of ball. I'm about to eat a banana. Refrain from any racist comments. I know YouTube has a little more decorum than YouTube. I know YouTube has a little more decorum than my Twitch chat.
How much effort Ufotable put into the production versus the actual manga. Then after seeing all these breathing styles, I remembered none of this is real.
What is he saying? The manga panels is bad
versus the actual manga.
That's Demon Slayer style though. Now it's kind of like One Punch Man or Mob, where like they have those moments where the characters are drawn like a chibi way. It's very consistently like humorous, if that makes sense.
Then after seeing all these breathing styles, I remembered none of this is real.
Yeah,
it's all visual effects.
We all got schizo.
Speaking, anyone can have a breathing style. So I decided to give 10 random anime MCs their very own breathing style.
Okay. Jotaro Kujo. Asta, I don't know his last name. He's an orphan. Itadori Yuji. Denji. Levi Ackerman. Deku. That's why I can't remember his last name. Izuku Midoriya. Rono Zoro. Sailor Moon. Naruto. That looks like only 9.
And the rules for this
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I wasn't tripping.
Is I'm going to either put them in a category like how Natsu would be for flame breathing, or if they're too unique of a case, give them their own breathing style with a set of forms.
That's tough because niggas don't know. People don't know, Mitch. Well, people do know. If you have listening and reading comprehension, you should. Mid-series breathing is like new. I know Shinobu's sister used flower breathing. Like, it's all just branched off like patterns from the originator of the breathing styles. I'm not gonna say too much, I don't want to spoil anyone, but you feel me? So having your own style is not uncommon. I think it would be interesting if the rule he follows here is he like takes, like if he's gonna give them a style, he does how it is canonically, and like it's a mixture of two styles. Like Mitsuri's is love breathing. It has like, I think flame as a base and something else. I'm not quite sure. I'm like, don't quote me on that. But she was like taught by Rengoku, but she couldn't do flame breathing because of her strength, and then she created her own.
Depending on how good they were with their abilities. And we'll be going in order via this wheel, so stay tuned because
so randomized order
should honestly get animated. But real quick, here's a 10-second synopsis on what a breathing style is.
Okay, talk to me.
Breathing style in Demon Slayer is a special swordsmanship technique that uses controlled breathing to boost strength, speed, and focus while mimicking elements like fire, water, or lightning. Each style has unique forms that shape how to fight moves and attacks, but these are technically not there and don't actually have any real elemental effects as we're led to believe. Now, for the first MC...
Sukuna, not Itadori, and Freerun was the last one. That the Kid He wasn't in the jump. 2, 4, 6, 8. Huh. I should have checked over here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Sailor Moon's not here. That was like the fake silhouette. Okay, so it makes sense.
See, we got
that the kid might go.
Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes, sir.
Thinking Sukuna isn't the MC, but I decided to broaden the horizon for other characters, and he might not be the main character, but he's a main character.
Yeah.
And with Sukuna, he's a great start to this because he is 100%.
So it's like focusing cast.
Sun breathing.
Word? That's because he's old.
Father in sorcery. There's a reason why he's considered the king of curses. And here are the top explanations for him being in the strongest breathing category.
All right, talk to me.
1, he's top 2 in the verse, same as Yoriichi was. There's only 2, maybe.
I don't think it should be a strength thing. I mean, yeah, Yoroichi. How do you even say his name? I'm saying Yoroichi because I'm thinking of Bleach. It's like Yoriichi. I don't know if it's extra O in his John, but he was strong from birth. So to be fair, top 2 is an argument. I was just thinking more narrative and personality driven, but I'm letting go.
People capable of going to
cook up twin.
Secondly, Sukuna's extensive knowledge of sorcery is second to none, and
true.
All the fundamentals of curse energy and everything. Just like how sun breathing is
and because sun is the fundamental, and everything else is like a branch of it.
Godfather of all other breathing.
I fought with that.
Next, Sukuna's open barrier domain is insanely broken, and it cuts and dices as fast, if not even faster than Yoriichi would. So it's like a direct correlation to him. And lastly, his Fuka is considered to be as hot as the sun. Well, I'm not entirely sure how accurate that is.
Yeah.
But what his seems to be
statements type
energy supply, he can continue fighting for prolonged periods, just like Toguro was with the Hinokami Kagura. And putting everything into perspective,
that's not bad.
Sukuna just embodies what it means to be the grandfather of his anime, putting him in that upper echelon of breathing styles with access to.
That's tough. I get a 9 out of 10. I would go 10, but I gotta give him space to cook up. Like, he might have some crazy unique one in here, and I don't want to give it too low because I think that's good reasoning. That's good logic. I'm not mad at that logic right there. You know what I'm saying? He literally was the basis. He's from the Han era, so he's from way back when. That's Unk. You feel me? He knows the foundations of Jujutsu, and then we know his curse technique is the cutting joint, but he also has Fuga. So somehow he's able to use his curse energy in a way that has essentially kind of like 2 techniques, which is impossible. So there's some logic in there to where like he's able to use his curse energy in multiple ways. Maybe he just has 2 abilities, but there's also the possibility that he's able to like funnel it in another way. Maybe Fuga was just the last thing he learned before he died, so that's all he had at the time. So that would breathe like logic into the sentiment that if he was in Demon Slayer verse, that would be his equivalent.
All 13 forms. Now back to the wheel, and the next character up is
Deku.
Because of Deku's
Izuku Midoriya,
it could have gone so many different ways. His smoke screen could have been misbreathing.
But that and that's why I like that the Sukuna one is his deep understanding of curse energy, because though Deku has a deep understanding of quirks and has a myriad of bag when it comes to quirks, you could also go Deku for sun breathing, but a lot of the breathing styles, again, are kind of based off personality, what you can do. And I'm not going to deny the easy layup sun breathing is there, but I'm glad that he didn't choose to go the easy route. He's going to cook up and give us another like breathing style. I think Deku's very versatile. I think if you were to put him in a category, I would give him open eyes. Just because like his joint is about changing, it's about being flexible in combat. That is Deku. While Sukuna's bag knowledge when it comes to curse techniques isn't just I know every curse technique. It's I know how every curse technique works. I know the curse energy output required. You feel me? While Deku's is more, it's similar, but he's just not as old to where it will be that way. I feel like his is more of like I know the existing strengths and weaknesses of this. This is how I adapt. And he knows how to pick which pocket to pick when he's fighting. So My guess is gonna be Snake. He can go anywhere with this, to be honest. I just can't wait to see how he explains
it.
His
float could have been wind breathing. His black whip could have been considered stone breathing. But ultimately, I think it has to be thunder breathing with
thunder
forms.
Okay.
Aside from the fact that Deku uses his gear shift and Fajin to basically warp
speed,
lightning speed,
yeah.
He also has his form when looking at it resembles what a thunder breathing type would have been if it was green, of course.
Type
and
shit.
Then when you think about the earlier versions of Deku, he used full Kowlin and had electricity all around him that gave him a major speed boost. So all signs point to thunder.
We're gonna go thunder.
This moment
I'm not mad at it.
Sky and mimic the sound of thunder. And although this was a clear-cut winner, Stone breathing was not too far behind because One for All, before all the other quirks, is based on brute strength, and that's the basis of.
And stone breathing, the training for stone breathing is the training you need to do for pretty much any breathing style. It gets your stats there. I'm not saying every single like Hashira trained in Gyome's way before learning their style, but stone breathing, if I'm not mistaken, was given to the ancestor Yorichi gave it to because he was so strong. And if you think about any other breathing style, mind you, these are all like the visual effects are fake. It's literally just the technique that they're using, and different techniques require certain speed, like insect breathing, sound breathing. Certain techniques require a certain amount of strength. You know, your flame breathing, your stone breathing. So I think stone breathing is like after sun is the next biggest, like, if you have the foundations for this, you could probably flow into some other ones.
Stone breathing. Next up, we got Death the Kid from Soul Eater.
My goat.
His breathing style is
symmetry.
Going to be American breathing. And I know that makes it sound like a joke, but I'm not kidding. Death the Kid's entire persona really matches.
He don't give him a... I can't remember his name right now, but he's... I can't even remember the Hashira's name. He's Sonami's... He's giving him Sonami's brothers. Yeah.
That demon side, especially with him being
that
a son himself. And it would make more sense, but because this is just breathing styles, we have to stick to that. And Genya does use guns, but he technically doesn't have a style. So it would have to be his very own unique breathing form. And like I said earlier, it will be called American breathing.
True, because Death the Kid is like very creative when it comes to the way he fights. That's one of the things they like talk about when he's first introduced in Soul Eater. Like, oh yeah, y'all are tough. Y'all are tough students. No one's touching this guy, right? We see him use his guns. I can't remember the name of the sisters. It's something and Patty and I think Liz and Patty Thompson sisters. But yeah, the way he used them, as you saw in that joint, he used them close range. He's like pistol whip. He normally carries his joint upside down, like the barrel was there, and his pinky's on the trigger, right? So it's like he's very versatile in that regard, and he even like used his skateboard in combat. So I would say we give him, I think giving him that type of American breathing fits because it gives him the fluidity that he has as Death the Kid, while also sticking true to the fact that he's finna blick it down.
The Kid's character is overly obsessed with perfection and symmetry. He can't function without his twin sister.
No bush.
So that's a must. And in this breathing style, he will have twin pistols like
two bloods. Indeed.
The bullets are made out of scarlet crimson, the same ore used to make Nichiren blades. These bullets hit 10 times harder, and because Death the Kid is technically a unique case in his verse, he'll also have Marechi blood. And if you're unfamiliar with what that is, it's a blood type that Sanemi has, which makes demons basically more attracted to your blood, and when they consume it, they get a drunken effect. With every shot he takes, it slowly extracts some of his blood onto the bullets.
That's kind of hard. Which is gonna make his opponent like sloppy,
making the demons chase these bullets, purposefully getting hit, and then having a slowed handicap. And because it is a one-of-one breathing style with no foundations from the others,
he's one-of-one.
Straightforward ideology. It'll only have one form, which is twin bullet.
Word.
Purely based on offense, the same way he was in Soul Eater. And I'm sticking with the American breathing name, but if we had to go more Demon Slayer accurate,
I don't want to go with one because he's into symmetry.
It would be something along the lines of like Reaper breathing, turning firearms into just.
If he had a choice, he would go 8. 8 is his favorite number. It's perfectly symmetrical. You cut it down horizontal. It's just 2 like circles. You cut it down the middle. It's like 2. You feel me? It's perfectly symmetrical.
Death Symphony.
That's his number right there.
On the wheel, we got Denji from Chainsaw Man.
Mr. Gambler. Mr. I only have one Tesla because I sold the other one off.
Capture his chaotic and violent fighting.
Tight tech.
So his breathing style is going to be called Ren breathing. Denji's whole identity is raw survival and aggression. Unlike elegant swordsmanship like Rengoku or even Gyu, his fighting is messy, but even more relentless. He fights like someone who doesn't care if he gets hurt, as long as the enemy goes down before him. So his breathing style would have to embody chaos, pain tolerance.
That's so nasty. Like he the type of like Slayer to fight like a demon. He has no regen whatsoever, but he's fighting just as reckless.
And into brute force instead of just refinement. And because he relies so much on pure instinct, it will only have about 4 forms, all focused on offense. And once again, if I had to choose, he would probably be just like Kokushibo, where he adapted a breathing style and then turned it to a demon to refine it and have super regeneration to combat his self-destructive tendencies. Due to each of his 4 forms taking way too much blood for him to sustain using it. And with regeneration on his belt, suddenly his reckless and suicidal fighting style actually becomes a little more limitless, and he can burn through his own body again and again and just keep getting back up. The only other breathing style even remotely close to what Denji's fighting
this thing gonna have like endless regen. You can be like a Kaza.
Would be is beast breathing. Inosuke fights the same as he does, with instinct and animal behavior, as well as them both having dual type weapons to wield. They also rely too much on their pain tolerance, and that puts them in harm more times than not. They need to be a little bit more stronger to dish it back. And for the next character, we got Jotaro. Jotaro's entire style is contingent on the fact he doesn't like to waste movements. He's very efficient. Fastest way to end the fight. And with Star Platinum, it has rapid pace, striking speed, and high power along with precision. He's patient and calculated in his fights, which leads to his breathing style being pulse breathing. Inspired by heartbeat rhythm, time and bursts of power like Star Platinum's attacks. This style will have 8 forms, and each form will represent precision, rapid combos, finishing moves that just matches his stand to a T. The only downside to the style is the limited mobility aspect. Because Star Platinum is so strong, it is constantly in a fixed position, resulting in short range attacks. So he's a powerhouse in close
like AoE,
but a liability when it comes to moving around. If this had to be compared to a breathing style, it would be a mix of sound breathing and flame breathing. The sound breathing is there because although it's slow in terms of movement, it still has those quick bursts of speed in the actual attacks. And then flame breathing because the attacks have real power behind it, making it have high offensive capabilities. Adding time stop onto it might be a
time stop is crazy
due to it negating the only weakness that he has. So we'll leave that ability to only when he uses a Demon Slayer mark and it's activated, and it is only 2 uses per day. For the next MC, we got Zoro. Now Zoro
real swordsman,
a unique style of his own, but he is a natural born swordsman, so he fits into almost any breathing styles already available. So for Zoro's, I would have to go with a unique case and turn him into Tanjiro to get him in a category of his own.
Being able to use other.
With this, Zoro has access to all 6 of the fundamental breathing styles derived from sun breathing, including that itself, which is stone, water, flame, wind, and thunder. Given
that One Piece down in the back,
styles may seem like glaze, but trust me when I tell you, he embodies pure swordsmanship, and I'll explain why for each. He has sun breathing because Zoro has displayed immense precision
with his sword fighting,
to the point where he would easily know the founding style, and also he has shown great lengths of endurance, especially when it comes to taking hits. Thunder breathing because, as we know, he is fast and uses speed to blitz his opponents before they even get a chance to think. Flame because he swings his sword at speeds that have so much offensive power.
And the wind pressure.
Fire. Wind because he uses slashes of just the weight of his sword for long range attacks that cut through the air itself. Water because of his 3 sword style and him being able to defend well, while also maintaining good offense. And stone breathing because of the raw strength and instincts he relies on to fight. So if you weren't convinced before, you have to be now. I don't even think.
And it's kind of hard because his whole premise is the Ashura, which I think has 6 arms. Because it's 3 bodies. It has 6 arms. He uses 3 sword style. It's 3 bodies, so for him it's 9. But traditionally, an Ashura itself would have 6 arms, if I'm not mistaken. There's 6 foundation breathings that are like under, you feel me? That are under, what's good, Kenya? There's 6 foundation breathings under that sun breathing. So I think that would be tough. Like, him being able to use all 6 lines up with the Ashura aspect of his abilities.
They're having him up here with the rest of these swordsmen. But to the next character, we got Levi. Another swordsman, but not the traditional type.
He's aggressive.
And I don't know why, but for some reason, he reminds me of Sanemi, and my mind is telling me wind style, but also screaming sound breathing as well. due to both of them having speed as the main factor. Wind breathing because of its agile, unpredictable movements.
Yeah.
Sonomi's style already emphasizes flurries and unpredictable.
His technique, though.
Especially how Levi decimates Titans with that ODM gear. With that being said, I think about Tengen and how he still uses speed, but with 10 times more precision. So I think sound breathing makes the most sense.
I think it fits more too,
Tengen fights by reading enemy scores and then breaking down the attacks into predictable patterns. Levi does this with Titans too, and he
reads them like a book
and then moves accordingly. Tengen also uses 2 blades chained together, and then Levi uses dual blades too, with an overwhelming close range style.
Okay, I feel that.
But the argument is sound breathing is more flashy and loud, versus Levi being more stealthy and calculated. But him being a sound Hashira just sounds way better than him being a Wind. So I'm going to stick with that, and he'll have access to 3 5 forms. Now back to the wheel, and we have Naruto. The sound of the yellow flash and insane speed calls for thunder breathing. I mean, just imagine him with it, and it all makes sense. But then I came to my senses and realized his natural chakra nature
is wind.
Sage mode or 6 paths was wind style, and wind is exactly what Naruto does. His signature move is Rasengan Shuriken,
so wind element transformation.
Well. So it kind of lines up. The other concern is that Naruto wouldn't technically need a sword, but it would be
he doesn't really use Kenjutsu
in this case. But nonetheless, wind breathing is still the perfect style for him, mainly on the offensive side. And if you think about it, he probably developed his own variation, something like maybe hurricane breathing, an evolved form of wind breathing that mirrors the chaos and destructive force of the 9 tails that's inside of him.
I was thinking more of the clones.
Precise as wind techniques, but then builds into massive, uncontrollable storms, just like Naruto's wind nature. So it's a branch of wind breathing, like how sound breathing is a branch of thunder breathing, and then so he'd have access to only 3 forms though, since he's a bit of a one-trick pony when it comes to his powers. And for the final 2 up,
hello my dog, bro. He develops multiple types of Rasengans, bro. Chill, bro. Chill.
Next, we got Frieren. And she's an overpowered.
I need to watch this, John.
In regard, but what truly puts Frieren above all
animation like fire
amounts of knowledge. And what Hashira do we know with the most knowledge? Shinobu. Insect breathing is the perfect parallel for Frieren, since she and Shinobu have very similar body types and rely on agility to best their opponents. With Frieren also being more strategic with her fights, using poison to weaken or beat an enemy seems like the route she would take.
Makes sense.
It would compensate for the lack of power she would have due to her smaller frame. The only other styles that would come close to matching her is mist breathing and love breathing. Mist breathing because she has one of the best mana suppression abilities in the show, making her seem invisible just like Muichiro was when he created eerie scenes to make it hard for the enemy to spot him. She also utilizes flight as one of her many abilities, and I know mist breathing didn't directly have flight, but it seems like something that one of the 2 would have. Then for love breathing, just because she was mourning Himmel, and the story is about her love for him. She doesn't have any actual traits for love breathing.
It'd just be like narratively.
She always found herself stuck in trapped chests. She'd also have all 4 forms, which comes with the age as well. She'd have too much time to not master them. And for the final breathing style,
that's the one you said needs to be animated.
Real swordsman that makes it much more fun to create. Off the bat, one thing we know about Asta is his inability to use magic. So I feel the same would have to go for total concentration, which is what's needed to do breathing's technique.
Crazy.
Just like Genya, he'd have to figure out his own way, and that leads to Asta's breathing style, void breathing. This is a direct pull from the nullification effect, except this time in the Demon Slayer world, Asta is the only person to have found black crimson ore. This ore
negates regen,
one used to make the Nichiren blades, and actually nullifies the demon's regeneration.
See, I'm already knowing.
So whenever Asta fights demons, they immediately
it's a one-on-one type tag,
and they do not toy around at all because they know the consequences of getting cut by a sword. The only downside to this style is because the ore is so strong, it can only be made in its big sword form, which causes mobility issues.
So like his regular sword,
okay. Great physical prowess, but it is still a hindrance to fight against a demon who has way more stamina than he does. This breathing style has 5 forms, with each form
I'm not mad at that.
Progressively slower as his strikes deal.
But the strength would increase.
It's the perfect blend of Asta's lack of power with his counter to said power. And that is the final one.
I'm not mad at that.
I've now done domain expansions and breathing styles.
Look at the thumbnails, bro. Shout out, bro. Thumbnails are tough. You know what I'm saying? I've been working on changing the way I do my thumbnails for the YouTube. You feel me? So I can definitely give credit where credit's due. These are fire thumbnails. You feel me? But appreciate y'all boys for sticking tuned. This was Honor Clarity giving animes MCs a breathing style. Reader giving anime MCs a breathing style. And yeah, I'll catch y'all boys next time.